Welcome back, everyone. It is almost Thanksgiving, and it is so incredibly warm out that I was in a t-shirt today. It registered as 72 degrees Fahrenheit in the sun. Some of the horses are even having to swat away a crazy amount of flies. We have been having the warmest fall that I can remember, as well as one of the driest. I came out to the pasture to get Blue to bring him in for a little bit of a massage for what I think is a stiff shoulder and pectoral area, but I decided to sit down on a log and just enjoy the sunshine and watch the horses. I also got the chance to watch my husband's horse Mina, as she has been having some pain, possibly from arthritis, in her back right. For those of you who are wondering, that is a grazing muzzle on Mina. She wears it a lot of the year because she is what we call an air fern. Anytime she looks at grass, she will gain some extra weight. We want her to be able to continue to graze to keep her guts moving, especially in her hindgut and her cecum. However, Mina is at a higher risk of metabolic disorders, as well as foundering, which could eventually lead to something like her being put down. So even though, she doesn't necessarily like to have her ability to eat as much grass as she wants to be impaired, she does get plenty to eat. She's quite adept at figuring out ways to eat through the holes, but it does keep her healthier, in a healthier weight, so that we don't necessarily have to face heavy vet bills, a lot of pain for her, and an outcome that would be really sad for everyone. So I now have Blue up in the barn. When I got Blue, he was 12 years old. He is now 19, and he will turn 20 years old March 2025, so not that far off. But when I did get him, he has always had trouble picking up his right lead for the canter. He cannot do it when we are going around a small area or a ring, but he has slowly been choosing that lead when we're out on trails, doing sort of longer canter stretches, and he will switch on and off flying lead changes on his own as he does get a little bit stronger. Now, Blue did have the summer off this year. I chose not to ride. It was so unbelievably hot. The flies were so bad, and even though we have a small covered indoor arena, it was just miserable. So opposite of some people who live in like Montana or Alaska or areas where it gets much colder, I prefer to ride all winter long when I can and take some of the summers off. We don't show anymore, so there's not like we're really missing out on too much in the summer. So here I'm just working on using my hands to, I believe the technique is called effleurage. I'm just warming up the muscles, feeling everything, trying to make sure that his sliding surfaces, so like where his skin rests on top of the muscle, it'll move around and it doesn't seem to stick, because if it does stick, we do want to, rub that out a little bit, help him get some range of motion. I'm also looking for any places in his muscles that might feel like it's more tense or it has a knot, so that we can gently work that out. I did just purchase some liniment gel for him. He does not like the traditional liniment wipe down after a ride or something. I think he tends to swish his tail. I think the cooling effect bothers him too much, but he really does seem to like the liniment gel. It's not as strong, definitely on my hands, and it does, provide a nice sliding surface for my hand, as well as, I can move, work it into his muscle to help it maybe relax a bit. So some of the things that I'm looking for are obviously any reactions from him. If his skin twitches or he seems like one area might be more sensitive than another. I'm also, watching his ears, his eyes, see if he's agitated. I will look for extra blinking. And then I will also watch for any licking and chewing with his mouth, or also any large letdowns of breath that he sort of might be holding. So I am going to eventually work my way back towards his hindquarters. I will work my way down his spine, make sure that he doesn't have any sensitivities there. I will work the muscles which are called his intercostals, which are in between his ribs, and then I'll eventually work his glutes and his hamstrings, and I will go around to the other side as well. All in all, he just seemed to really enjoy it. We did also find a couple itchy areas, so we would stop and scratch sometimes. But for the most part, it was a nice, relaxing way to help Blue out when we don't have to do the same thing every day. Every time he gets caught out in the field doesn't necessarily mean he's going to have to go in and do some hard exercise. It could mean a nice bonding experience for the two of us. Because it was so warm, I ended up having to take off my sweatshirt in order to continue his massage. What I didn't get a chance to film was I found a tick right here when Blue kept indicating that he was itchy. And we pulled it off, but as you can see, it's still got an itchy bite area. And so I'm going to stop and scratch it for him for a second, and yes, he cannot get enough of it. What an absolutely goofy boy. Now, I did put some hydrocortisone cream on it, thinking that it might help to reduce some of the itch. When it wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be, I do have some aloe vera with some lidocaine, and I will put that on sometimes for him to help, with the itching, because Blue's one of those horses that if he has an itch, he will scratch himself until he has cut himself open, and we do not want that. So now I'm going to do some traction on Blue's tail to help lengthen through his spine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both hands on his tail dock where the bone is, not just the hair, and I'm going to gently pull down and back. And so you can see him lean away from it. He absolutely loves that stretch. We do it pretty much every time we ride, and pretty much every time we come up into the barn when he grooms. Here I'm just feeling his stifle because he does have some arthritis in his hocks and his stifles, just loosening the skin up, making sure I don't feel any heat, making sure he doesn't have a painful reaction. Stifle felt good, it felt normal. Yep, I can't tell if something's itching him or if there's a bug on him, so we're gonna step back for a second and see if he asks for any more scratches. Nope, so I'll go back to rubbing. I'm gonna change it up a little bit in case that was bothering him. We've been at this for a while, and I honestly think that even though he does enjoy his massage, that he's getting tired of just standing around. He'd rather go out with his girlfriends, eat some grass. So we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I'm just going back to check his shoulder one more time. Oh, I got a little bit of a reaction. There's some licking and chewing, and this spot felt pretty tight. Oh, there's a good yawn. Oh, I think we might have hit a spot that feels good when we rub it. I keep an eye on it because horses sometimes will start to yawn if they feel stressed, but Blue seems pretty relaxed. Okay, buddy, we are almost done. One of the things I have to do for Blue pretty regularly is wash the dock of his tail. He gets really itchy, scaly dandruff, and he will scratch it, and he has been known to puncture himself, as well as create some really big open wounds that have required a vet visit and some antibiotics. So in order to keep that from happening again, I wash his tail with Head and Shoulders, and then I condition it with some aloe and other things to make it less itchy. So I finished that up. I wasn't sure how to video it for you guys because there was a lot of water and not a good place for my phone. But I did turn him out for his tail to dry, and while I did that, I decided I was going to pull some tack that I don't use anymore and I'm going to sell, so I need to wash it. This is a bridle that doesn't fit Blue anymore, and so I want to clean it up and sell it. And so I've got all my stuff while I keep an eye on Blue while he gets a little extra grass. So this is what the automatic water trough looks like, only after just a week. So before I pull the plug, I'm going to go in and break up all of this more loose stuff that's floating. And now you can't see anything in the water. So I'm going to pull the plug. I might need to put my phone down. Yep, look at my hand. One of the chores that has to get done at least once a week is to clean out the water in the fields. So by doing that, we take a scrub brush, we get a lot of the algae that might have built up over the week, get that all scrubbed up, and then I will take something and I will scrape the sides if it needs it before I pull the plug out, and use the water that's already in there, try and get as much up as I can, and then I'll pull the plug, let it drain out, and continue to scrape it. The curious little horse that you can see on the screen, his name is Gimli. He's another boarder at the barn, and he's actually a registered Mustang. He's very sweet and very intelligent, and I'm hoping that he doesn't steal my tools as I'm working to scrub this water tank clean. And then when I'm done this side, I will actually go through and clean the side that Gimli is standing on. This is the side I haven't cleaned yet. This is where Gimli, the Mustang, and his buddy Doc, who's back there, they're in this field today. And this is what it looks like after a good scrub. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. It's been super dry, so the extra water, it's going to make mud around a little bit, but it'll dry up pretty quickly. And as you can see, these areas are really well drained. And we're supposed to get rain on Wednesday, so it won't matter anyway. All right, time to do the other side. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.